So, you know how the point of a double album is to have roughly double the amount of music as a traditional album? Well, I thought a fun but kind of evil thing to do was cut a bunch of iconic ones down to single albums, kinda like a best of both sides type of thing. I say evil cause for a lot of bands, their double album is arguably their best album. Hell, some of these are considered like best albums of all time. That makes sense when you think about it, cause double albums are not an easy thing to do creatively or more importantly, financially. Because there's double the amount of music, that means double the amount of studio time, mixing and mastering, packaging. They're a gamble. Double albums need to warrant their existence more than traditional albums, which is probably why they end up being so great. You know, the band knows they gotta go all in to make sure it's the best thing ever. Again, that's why it's evil doing it to some of these, but for others, I'm not gonna lie, they're kinda guilty of having some filler. It's like some of these songs probably would have been B-sides if the band didn't have to fill a quota. So maybe it's for the best if some of these got cut in half. But let's quickly define what a double album means in the modern context. Back in the old days when vinyl was sadly your only option, double albums referred to ones that stretch between two records. Standard 12-inch vinyls usually hold up to 22 minutes of music on each side. They can do more, but the grooves, you know, the little trenches the needle goes into, those are closer together and can damage the audio quality, like inconsistent volume, distortion. Annoying shit vinyl snobs will be like, oh, it adds character, it adds personality. No, it adds sounding bad. Double albums in the vinyl days were usually around 80 minutes long, give or take. So when CDs came out, which depending on their size can fit more than 80 minutes of music on them, a lot of vinyl double albums were able to fit onto one CD, like London Calling, Double Nickel on the Dime, Exile on Main Street. Yeah, these are technically still double albums, but only in the traditional sense. Because nowadays, I'm sure most of us can agree a double album refers to an album that stretches over 2 CDs. Look at this poll I made a few weeks ago. The people don't lie. So that's what I'm considering as a double album for this video. Bonus points too if both sides have a special name or different artwork. And some quick rules. No anniversary or deluxe editions of albums that add another side of remixes, demos, live recordings. No albums that were supposed to be double albums like Secret Messages by ELO. And both sides had to be released at the same time. So no Use Your Illusion by Guns N' Roses. Also, I'm gonna make the combined track list an extra song or two longer to make this a bit easier on myself. And I'll put them in a new order too. Let's start with one that isn't gonna be hard to do at all. Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin. I feel like I'm gonna make some enemies doing this, because most people I know say this is their favorite Zeppelin album. You can say that about any of their albums and you'd be correct, but Physical Graffiti feels like it's the most agreed on. If there had to be an objectively best Zeppelin album, it's this one. Like my favorite Zeppelin album is Houses of the Holy, but even I can agree with this. So it's gonna be kinda hard cutting this in half. There's 15 songs in total, so I'm gonna go down to 8. The one thing that annoys me about Physical Graffiti though is normally double albums have the same or nearly the same amount of songs on both sides. Meanwhile, Physical Graffiti has 6 songs on side 1 and 9 songs on side 2. I know that's a really stupid thing to get annoyed at, especially because side 1 has 2 songs over 8 minutes long. It makes sense, but if it were me, I would have evened it out a little bit more. I'm gonna run through each of the songs and explain why they did or didn't make the cut. First, we got Custard Pie. This is a great example of a problem I had while making this entire video. I like this song, but I had to cut it to save space for the songs I like just a little bit more. There's a couple songs I didn't have to think twice about cutting, but Custard Pie was definitely a this or that scenario, and I feel it's missing that little extra something to make it win over the others. The Rover isn't like that. I'm definitely keeping this one. It's a great second song on the album. It keeps the pace going from the intro and has a really cool tone. Like, this doesn't sound like a typical Zeppelin song to me. Those are usually jammy and kind of loose in a good way. This one feels a lot more steady. In Time of Dying, this song is why the track list is so skewed. It's alright, but as the long song on a Zeppelin album, compared to stuff like Since I've Been Loving You and Stairway, it's fine. To be honest, I feel like it could have been chopped up into 2 or 3 smaller songs. It doesn't feel like it needed to be over 10 minutes, so I'll skip it. Houses of the Holy, I love how this is a title track on the wrong album. I might be biased on this one, but I'm keeping it because it's one of the grooviest songs on either side. Same with Trampled Underfoot. This is the grooviest song on the entire album, especially because of the clavinet, the thing that sounds like a high-passed keyboard. It reminds me of Scumbag Blues by Them Crooked Vultures. Of course, you can't not have Kashmir. This is such a menacing ass song and an amazing closer to side 1. There's not much else I can say about it. It's Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. It speaks for itself. Now we got side 2, and honestly, it was just a bit easier to cut this one down compared to the first. Not calling it bad, heavens no. But since there's a greater amount of songs on this side, a few of them do feel kinda fillery. I'm keeping In the Light though. The intro gives off such a weirdly unique vibe, like you're watching a trippy sci-fi movie from the 70s. Bronjur Or, I hope I said that right. It's a nice instrumental, and I know I said every great album has one of these in the title tracks video, but sadly, it's not making the cut. It's nothing personal, but am I really gonna choose this over a normal song like Down by the Seaside? Of course not. This is a song I've heard a few times, but haven't fully appreciated since re-listening to Physical Graffiti for this video. It's so mellow during the verses with the tremolo guitar, and then has a really cool change halfway in and gets way more intense. You know it's a good Zeppelin song when the title's nautical or kind of water-themed. The ocean, rain song, Fool in the Rain. Gotta have 10 Years Gone too, of course. This is such a dreamy and triumphant sounding song that sticks with you so much. Like personally, I think this is Jimmy Page's best song. The chord progression, the solos, it's amazing. The last couple songs are still good, but to me this is where it gets kind of fillery. Night Flights is a little too short for me to fully appreciate. I think Zeppelin songs are at their best around 4 to 5 minutes. That gives them enough time to jam and do all their crazy shit. Same with the Wanton song. I like the walk-up chords during the chorus, but the verses kind of sound like Immigrant Song to me. Boogie with Stu, I'm gonna keep this one actually. It sounds kind of show-tunesy with the piano and acoustic guitar. It's a nice pace breaker. And I'm gonna cut the last 2 songs too. Black Country Woman gives a similar vibe to Boogie with Stu, and they complement each other well, but if I had to choose one or the other, I'd definitely go with Stu. And Sick Again is a good closer, but compared to side 1's closer, you know, Kashmir, there's no contest. Now that we've cut these down to a single album, here's the new track list. First is In the Light because it works so perfectly as an opener, The Rover because as a second song it carries the energy from the intro so well, Houses of the Holy, 10 Years Gone because it's a great middle of the album song, Down by the Seaside, Boogie with Stu, Trampled Underfoot, and finally Kashmir because I can't not have that as the closer. I'll link all these trimmed down versions in the description, so let me know what you think of them in the comments. Also, now I'm gonna call this Houses of the Holy 2. Because it's still got the title track, and a lot of these songs feel like spiritual successors to the originals. In the Light is like Songs Remain the Same, Stu is like Dancing Days, Seaside is like Dire Maker, 10 Years Gone is like Rain Song. Not so much instrumentally with some of these, more so like spiritually, or something abstract like that. Next we got Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. This one's gonna hurt even more than Physical Graffiti. This is genuinely one of the best albums of all time. I like Inner Visions just a schmither more, but come on, it's Songs in the Key of Life. A fun fact about this album, it's technically a double and a half album. The original release only had 17 songs, but it also came with a bonus 7-inch vinyl called A Little Something Extra. Probably because they couldn't fit all these songs into 2 albums, so they threw this in as a bonus. But now all these extra songs are combined with the second side on streaming and CD. So it's gonna hurt to do, but get out your skizzers. Side 1 starts with Love's in the Need of Love Today. I'll keep this one, it's a long, soothing intro. I love hearing the band interact with Stevie, like when he tells him to quiet down by the end. Have a Talk with God is staying too. This is a great follow-up to In the Need of Love. It grabs your attention right away because it's faster, groovy, and way shorter too. It's not even 3 minutes long. Village Ghetto Land, I like how the synths sound like a clavichord, harpsichord, the medieval sounding one, whichever that one is. But it's kinda long, and you expect more of the band to come in, like drums or guitar, but they never do, so I'll pass. Contusion, I had to double check I was listening to Stevie Wonder and not a playlist on shuffle. This sounds like a Weather Report song. It's crazy fast and like jazz fusiony, so I'm definitely keeping it. Of course, I'm keeping both Sir Duke and I Wish. I actually forgot these two were back-to-back on the same album. I learned both these songs on bass when I was 15, so you can understand why I'm a little biased. I'm keeping Knock Me Off My Feet too. I love the bass runs during the pre-chorus and when it opens up in the outro. Pastime Paradise, this is a great song, but it's so uncanny because I forgot Coolio sampled it for Gangsta's Paradise. I've lost track of how many times I heard that song, but it's definitely been way more than Pastime, so I'm gonna cut it. That's not a dig at anyone, it's just kind of funny hearing the original now. Summer Soft is staying. I never feel the need to point out how good Stevie's singing is. That's like calling the sky blue. But this song in particular, yeah, it's good. And finally, Ordinary Plan. I'll cut this one. It's a bit longer than most of the other songs on this side. I was into it at first, because halfway in it stops for a sec and then goes to a new part. And if it stopped completely there, it would have been kind of underwhelming. But then the part it goes to goes on a bit longer than I'd like and becomes underwhelming again. Basically, the song almost undershoots its target and then overshoots it. Time for side 2. First is Isn't She Lovely? For the most part, this song is great. I got a lot of memories of it from the Musicquarium compilation. But why does it gotta have those weird ass baby noises? Well, the actual reason's because this song's about Stevie's daughter being born. That's sweet, but I don't want to hear this in the middle of the song. I think there's a radio version that takes this shit out and it's a million times better, a billion times better even. But that's not the version on the album, so it's gotta go. Joy Inside My Tears stays. I like it for a weird reason. There's a part towards the end where I almost want it to speed up because of how much they're getting into it, but it doesn't, and it tests your patience in a good way. It's like showing off how good the band's restraint is. I'll cut Black Man. The first half is really good. It kind of reminds me of one of my favorite Stevie songs, Frontline. Then it goes to a jammy part that stays kind of still at points and ends on a part that's way less cool than the nasty ass solo before it. Nikulela? I'll double check that later. It's okay, but I kind of space out towards the end of Black Man, and it's hard for me to remember much about this song because it's right after that one. That's more of a problem with the song's placement than the song itself, but I'll skip it. If It's Magic is staying. This is an interlude song that's just Stevie singing with a nylon guitar and a bunch of reverb. As, more like as if. I like how it kicks the energy up after Magic, but between you and me, I think Stevie's shouting voice is kind of funny, and he does it quite a bit in this song, so I can't help but chuckle when I hear it. Another Star almost made it. I love the disco drums and the grand piano, but once again, it's kinda long. I don't know if I can be invested in this for 8 minutes. I'd probably do like the first half if I was showing this to a friend and then skip it after that. That's what I noticed about side 2. Most of the songs are pretty long. I got nothing against long songs, but some of these honestly could have had like a minute or two shaven off. Saturn I'll definitely keep. The chords in this are amazing. It never sounds like they repeat in any of the sections. And Ebony Eyes I'll keep too. The song's got a saxophone solo right after a talkbox solo. All Night Sucker's cool. It's a busy song with all the instruments, so there's a lot to pay attention to. But sadly, it's gotta go to make room for the last song, Easy Goin' Evening. There's a nice jazzy end to this side. It's a sharp contrast from all the energy the last bunch of songs had. Here's the new track list. I try to make the mood shift a couple times throughout. It starts out kinda slow with Love's in the Need of Love and Saturn, then it picks up and grooves out for a bit with Have a Talk with God, Contusion, Sir Duke, I Wish. Then If It's Magic, cause I like it going down after Sir Duke's outro. Picks up again with Joy Inside My Tears, Summer Soft, Ebony Eyes. Then I save Knocks Me Off My Feet for the end, because I think it has the most emotional outro on the album, and then it ends with Easy Goin' Evening. And now it's called Let's See Life the Way It Is. That was the original working title for the album, and it kind of fits with what I'm doing. Because like we're seeing life, you know, that being songs in the key of life, the way it is as a single album. Next up is the White Album by the Beatles, not the one by Weezer. I can't have too much fun. I've mentioned this before, but I'm not that into the Beatles. I respect them, and music wouldn't be the same without them, blah blah blah. But a double album's a double album, so of course it's gotta be on here. There's 30 songs in total, so I'm gonna cut it down to 17, starting with Back in the USSR on side 1. I'm definitely keeping this one, but it's a great example why it sucks listening to the Beatles with headphones. The panning is so extreme on these songs. If I I take either of my headphones off, it sounds like half of the instruments are missing. I know panning was a new thing at the time, and they could only do so much, but it's still weird. Good song though. Dear Prudence, I'll cut. I like when the acoustic guitar is on its own in this song, but when the band joins on top, it sounds kinda clunky, like these parts don't fit together. This feels like the rhythm section's first idea when they were making their parts for the song. I'll cut the next two songs. Glass Onion, cause it's a cool, weird song and named after the worst Knives Out movie, and Obla D. This one's bouncy and the sax is really good too. Wild Honey Pie. This song's funny because it sounds like if the Beatles wrote the credits music for South Park. But there's a kinda similar song on side 2 I like just a bit more, so I'm gonna cut this one. A continuing story, A Bungalow Bill 2. I like it because it sounds kinda Bowie to me, but would I miss it? Not really. The only thing I remember about this song is that it reminds me of other stuff, not just Bowie. When they're singing Bungalow Bill in the chorus, it sounds like they're saying Buffalo Bill, so that makes me think of Silence of the Lambs. Guitar Gently Weeps, yeah, this is staying. Like, yeah, this is a Beatles song everyone knows, but don't lie, it slaps. Happiness, I'll cut. I love the intro, but I feel like it changes too much stylistically for me to get invested. Martha, I'll definitely keep. I think the strings are really pretty. And I'm So Tired, this song tripped me up because Fugazi has a song with the same name. I thought for a sec Fugazi's was secretly a cover this whole time, or the Beatles was a cover. It's a good song, I'll keep it. Blackbird, okay, it's a good song, but so many annoying people know it on guitar, and the Beatles have better songs, let's not joke around. It's an important song in music history, but not important enough to me, so I'm gonna skip it. Piggies, no, this song is weird, it's definitely filler. It's funny hearing George get southern at points, but I don't need this. Rocky Raccoon, here's where things get real southern. I'll keep this one, I like how the guitar strumming sounds like a waltz with an extra beat. And I'll keep Don't Pass Me By too. The piano part in this and Rocky Raccoon complement each other a lot. It's pretty buried in the mix, but it has a really cool warbly effect, so even though it's hard to hear, your brain still wants to hyper-focus on it.
Don't pass me by, don't make me cry, don't make me blue.
Why Don't We Do It on the Road? Nah, this is an inner thoughts type of song, cause if you pay attention to the lyrics, you'll see why. I Will Keep I Will. It's a little short, but I like the acapella parts. You know, I don't listen to acapella much. In fact, I think it's kind of annoying. But used sparingly or strategically like this, it's tolerable. And finally, Julia. I'll keep this song. It's a great outro to side 1. In fact, I'll probably still keep it as the outro in the final version too. Alright, side 2, baby. First up is Birthday. I'm definitely keeping this song, because the way they sing I Would Like You to Dance in the chorus definitely activated a new vocal stim for me. Your Blues, nah, this song's boring. I know I'm wishy-washy with the blues, like in one video I say I don't like it, then another I'll say I like, oh, this blues-inspired song. I flip-flop more than flip-flops can flip-flop. But this song sounds like a million other blues rock songs that do the whole 1-4-5 slow waltzy shit. I love the solo in the middle, but that's about it. Mother Nature's Son is pretty, but I was joking to myself, this song's like a precursor to Stomp Clap Hey. It's acoustic, the kick drum is the stomp, there's clapping in the chorus, but no hey, so it's not fully there, but it's dangerously close, so I'll skip it. Sexy Sadie, I'll keep this one because it's kind of psychedelic. Helter Skelter, no question, of course it stays. This is one of the most unintentionally influential songs of all time. The production sucks, like you can hear the drums clipping the mics and the volume faders being turned down, but that's not a problem with the band. That's a problem with nothing sounding like that before, so no one knew what they were doing. So of course, yeah, it stays. Long times 3, this is staying. It's a great tonal whiplash right after Skelter. It starts out super quiet, but the ending gets pretty ominous out of nowhere. I legit had to do a double take first time I heard it. Revolution 1, I'll cut it. Nothing really grabs me with this song. Like the whole time I listen to it, I'm expecting some big change or shakeup, but nothing happens. It's pretty forgettable. Honey Pie, I wrote Custard Pie in my notes for this by accident. Oops. I'll keep this one because I like the clarinets. Savoy Truffle, yeah, this one's really cool. It reminds me of a Beck song. Cry Baby Cry, sure, I gotta fill space. Revolution 9, I never heard this song before making this video. It's 8 minutes of creepy noises choruses and voices. I don't know why they felt the need to add this, but I'm keeping it solely because of how out of left field it is. And last is Good Night. I'll cut it. I don't really have a reason, it's whatever. Here's what I've dubbed the Egg
Can
White
I offer
album.
you a nice egg?
It starts with Back in the USSR like normal, then Birthday because these two have a very similar energy and I think are in the same key, maybe? Glass Onion, Obla D, then I Will to mellow out for a sec, then Guitar Gently Weeps to make it angry mellow for a sec, I'm So Tired, Sexy Sadie, Martha, Helter Skelter, and Savoy Truffle back to back as like a last hoorah for the upbeat Rocky songs. Rocky Raccoon, Don't Pass Me By because their piano parts work together, Cry Baby Cry, then Long Times 3 and Revolution 9 because they transition really well, and finally Julia again to close. Sorry I didn't have the most in-depth opinions on a lot of these songs. To be honest, a lot of Beatles songs are pretty disposable to me because of how short they are. I know there's probably countless dissection videos for all these songs on YouTube and why they're like masterclasses in music theory or something. Next, we got a band I love talking about more than the music itself, Smashing Pumpkins. They got a couple double albums and a triple album too, I think. But I'm gonna talk about the one most normal people care about, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I get why this one's considered their best album, but to me, this was nowhere near as hard or soul-crushing to cut down as the other albums I'm talking about. It has a lot of great songs, but because of how I feel about the band, or more specifically Billy Corgan, I'm not that emotionally attached to him. Like I was barely second-guessing myself with any of the ones I was cutting. There's 28 songs in total, but I'm gonna go down to just 15. I'll explain why later. But I will say, props to this album for giving both sides their own names. First is Dawn to Dusk, which starts with the title track, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I gotta contradict what I said about Brawn Your Ore with Physical Graffiti. This is an instrumental I can't sacrifice for a normal song. I've talked about it in other videos, but Melancholy is such a great opener, it's synonymous with the album for me. Obviously that makes sense because, you know, it's the title track, but even just thinking about this album in passing or the aesthetic, my brain always goes to this song. I'm keeping the next song, Tonight Tonight, as well. These two complement each other perfectly, and it's got one of my favorite music videos. I know that says nothing about the song's quality, but it does to me. Jelly Belly's alright. I like how it's loud and angry to contrast the last two songs, but I feel if I had to choose between this one or the next song, Zero, I'm going with Zero. That one's more iconic and the riffs are cooler. Again, most of what I'm cutting is mainly because I like another song just a little bit more. Same with Here Is No Why. It's a good song that retains some of the heaviness from the last couple songs, but it's not as noteworthy as the other ones coming up. Bullet with Butterfly Wings. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I'm not too big into this song. I hear it all the time in movie trailers or episodes of South Park. It doesn't clock to me as a song anymore. It's more like background noise. To Forgive, I'll keep. This is such a great sad song, especially following something like Bullet. I love how deep the guitars sound on this one. It really adds to the gloomy tone. I'm keeping Ode to No One too. This song gets you antsy because you're constantly waiting for the drums to kick in behind the guitar, and when it finally does, that shit gets pumped. Love is really fuzzy and industrial sounding, so it stays too. It's kind of like a precursor for their next album, Adore, which is my favorite Smashing Pumpkins album. I wanted to keep Cupid de Lock because the instrumental's really pretty, but towards the end, Billy's reciting Shakespeare or some shit, and hearing this man talk annoys the shit out of me. This is ass backwards, but I've grown a tolerance for his singing voice, but his talking voice makes me think I'm either hearing him suck himself off in an interview or sucking someone else off on his podcast. Galapagos is a great song, I'm definitely keeping it. I think the guitars are an open tuning, the chords sound very pretty and full, and the way the outro builds perfectly sets up for the next song. Too bad the next song's Muzzle. It's fine, but where it is on the track list kinda kills it for me. It's a shorter, heavier song that's sandwiched in between a bunch of melodic or grandiose songs. It feels out of place. In fact, I usually skip it when I listen back to Melancholy. I know that's not a fair criticism of the song and more so the track list, but listen to Galapagos and tell me Poor Selena of the Vast Oceans wouldn't be perfect directly after. Of course I'm keeping Poor Selena. A Smashing Pumpkins album wouldn't be complete without a 9-minute song. Don't let its length scare you. This song is an experience and the perfect finale to side 1. Not really, the actual finale is Take Me Down. This song almost made it. In fact, I had the track list at 16 for the cut down version until I was redoing the track order, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out where to put this song, cause 1, I've already got a bunch of slower songs, and 2, to jump ahead a bit, I'm also keeping the outro as side 2, Farewell and Goodnight, for a specific reason we'll get to soon. As much as I love this song, I gotta cut it. Speaking of side 2, next we got side 2, Twilight to Starlight. It starts with Where the Boys Fear to Tread. I'll keep it. I love intro songs that sound like the band is doing a line check before they start playing. The next song, Bodies, plays off it really well, but just like with Jelly Belly on the first side, if I had to choose between this and another song like 33, well, I'm not choosing either. I'll keep In the Arms of Sleep. This is a really cool dark acoustic song that doesn't sound much like anything else on this album. Yeah, of course, I'm keeping 1979. It's without a doubt Smashing Pumpkins' biggest song. They're one of those bands you can say their biggest song is their best one. Because 1979, that makes you feel something. Tales of a Scorched Earth is pretty good, but it's missing that wow factor that makes me want to defend it with my dying breath. Through the Eyes of Ruby, on the other hand, I'll defend that even after I'm dead. In some ways, it's like this side's Porcelina, being on the longer side and having so many beautiful and phasey arrangements. Stumbling, I don't know if that's a real word. It's a nice short song after Ruby, but just like with Muzzle on side 1, it's sandwiched between 2 exponentially better songs, so that alone stops me from liking it. XYU, hell yeah, that's staying on. This song is insane. It's got so many cool riffs, breakdowns, and Billy sounds so viscerally pissed off. You know how many times I've been chilling and just say out of nowhere, we only come out at night? Respectfully, no, this song's goofy as hell. Anytime I hear it, I picture a bunch of gnomes dancing around. I know that's not a complete turnoff for some people, you know, there's a lot of gnome enthusiasts out there, but I don't know why this song made the cut and not something like Pennies. That's a B-side on the deluxe edition of Melancholy. Check it out when you get the chance, it's a great song. I'll keep Beautiful. This is a song I barely hear anyone talk about. It sounds very melty. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up in that mixtape video game. That came out while I was making this video, and I'm definitely gonna play it. My prediction is the soundtrack will be amazing, but the writing and characters will be super annoying like Life is Strange. Lily, something or the other, I'ma cut this one. It sounds kinda show-tunesy like Boogie with Stu, but it feels kinda fillery, which makes sense for the third to last song on the second side. By Starlight almost made it, but for some reason it just wasn't clicking for me. I can tell this is a good song, maybe it's just not the right time. This feels like a song that finds you when you need it the most. And finally, Farewell and Goodnight. Just like Take Me Down, it's a soothing end to its respective side, but unlike that song, I'm keeping this one. Solely because it ends with a reprise of the Melancholy instrumental from the first side. It's a nice detail, what can I say? Alright, here's my little director's cut. It opens with Melancholy and Tonight Tonight, you know, I'm not messing with that. Then Eyes of Ruby, because I like when singles are followed by longer songs, and it's a good way to ease into the harder songs, because after this, I got Where the Boys Fear to Tread and Zero. The change between these two is a bit weird, but their guitar riffs complement each other. Love, then To Forgive to get sad for a second, 1979 to have the single halfway through, In the Arms of Sleep, then Ode to No One and XYU, Beautiful, because I like having a stark change after XYU, then Galapagos and Porcelina, because, you know, they're meant to be together. Fuck you, Muzzle. And finally, Farewell and Goodnight to close, because again, it's got that little reprise, and it's nice to hear this thing go full circle. Next is an album I listened to front to back for the first time, The Fragile by 9 Inch Nails. I do like these guys a lot from what I've heard, but that's mainly just their singles. I don't think I've ever listened to one of their albums front to back before. So this seemed like the perfect occasion to fix that, because what better way to get into a band than a double album? And honestly, I thought it was really good. The production is amazing, and I love how most of the songs flow into one another. It makes the album feel like a long stream of consciousness. So cutting this in half was pretty hard, both because it has so many good songs and it messes with the transitions between them. Oh well, it's going down to 13, so let's get slicing. First on side 1 is Somewhat Damaged. This song's staying. It's an amazing opener and has a pretty cool time signature. I think it starts out in 9/4 and then halfway in goes to 4/4. for? I'll consult the music theory subreddit later and get like 7 different answers. The Day the World Went Away, I'll keep 2. It's a very unpredictable song. Like you got no idea what it'll do or sound like next. It actually scared me when the band re-entered after the pause towards the end. Like I got jump scared or something. I always get my ass rocked by those. You should have seen me when I saw Obsession in theaters. I'll cut The Frail. It's a short piano song that sets up for the next song after this, The Wretched. The intro for that one doesn't hit as hard without The Frail, but it can still exist on its own, you know? I don't think it can work the other way around. Like I don't think The Frail can work without The Wretched. That's why I'm keeping The Wretched. It's at a perfect slow, strutty tempo like Sad But True by Metallica. The next couple songs are staying too. We're in this together because it exemplifies how good this album sounds, and the part with just the 2 guitars panned in opposite directions is really cool. The Fragile, of course, being the title track and whatnot, and Just Like You Imagine because it made me second guess myself with the time signature, and it's got a lot of cool layering. Even deeper, I'll cut this for a very specific and stupid reason. There's an instrument or something that sounds like a submarine sonar, which kind of fits with the name if you think of a submarine going deeper in the ocean and not something sexual. So I was expecting the rest of the song to also sound kind of submarine-y. I don't know what that means, maybe giving off an uneasy or claustrophobic vibe, but the instrumental it does have is kind of underwhelming. It's fine, but it doesn't invoke a specific mood or imagery for me. Again, I know that's a very specific and stupid reason for not liking the song, but that's just how I feel. Pilgrimage I'll keep because it sounds like the music for an overwhelming boss fight in a video game. No you don't, that's what I'm saying when this song tries to get onto the final track list. It's good, but I think the drum machine parts sound better than the ones using an actual kit. Those parts sound kinda tame to me. La Mer, I hope I pronounced that right. Ignore what I just said about No You Don't. I like the drums on this one. They're super groovy and the piano and strings sound great too. The Great Below, I'll cut. It's a great outro to this side, but it's almost too great because I feel I can only see this song as an outro instead of like, you know, just a normal song. I don't feel inclined to listen to it on its own. I'd only do it if I was re-listening to this side because I'm hearing it as the outro. Maybe that wouldn't be a problem if The Great Below was anywhere else on the album, but it's not. So it's still a problem. Alright, time for side 2. First up is The Way Out Is Through. This song's cool, but I think Somewhat Damaged is a better opener overall, and to me it feels a bit short. Even though Way Out is only 20 seconds shorter than Damaged, I don't know, I was waiting for a hard part or breakdown by the end, but I got nothing. Into the Void is staying. This one starts out kinda ominous, with strings and a percussion part that sounds like they're hitting metal tubes. And then it gets really groovy when the bass and drums enter. It has a weirdly sexy vibe, even though it's not overtly sexual. Where Is Everybody stays too. Just like with The Wretched on side 1, this is a perfect slow song. If it was any faster, it would ruin the whole thing. But that mixed with the cool slide guitar sounding thing during the hooks makes it a great song. I'll keep The Mark Has Been Made. I love these kinda intimidating song titles. It's fitting because this song's pretty scary. It's a 5-minute instrumental where the first half is quiet and ominous, and the second half gets way more intense. You also hear the next song, Please, start at the very end too. It's a cool transition, and the song itself is pretty good, but sadly, this is another one of those times where I have to cut it to make room for another song I like just a bit more. Like Starfuckers Inc. This one's staying not just for namesake. The aggressive drums and bass remind me of a Prodigy song, and then the scream Trent does at the very end reminds me of a Judas Priest song. It's not a bad thing if a song reminds me of another song, just as long as the songs are good. Also, it's kind of funny hearing Trent say Starfuckers over and over again in the chorus. I almost kept Complications. I got tripped up thinking I heard human screams in the guitars, which is freaky, but it's a bit short for my liking. I'm looking forward to joining you finally. Sorry, no, you're not joining. It's a cool song, but I was expecting it to get angry or have a big shakeup by the end, but nah, it's just kinda tame. The Big Come Down I'll keep because the guitar riff makes it sound kinda goofy to me, in a good way. Something about how hard they're playing it and the pattern itself just makes me laugh. I don't know how to explain it. I can't have deep explanations for why I like all these songs. And finally, I'll cut the last 2 songs. Underneath It All, because again, it's a bit short and ripe with decay. This one's another instrumental, and I like the frogs chirping halfway through. It reminds me of Aqueous Transmission by Incubus, but I've already filled up my instrumental quota, and this one ends kind of abruptly. Like when I listened to the album, Spotify auto-played A Warm Place right after Decay finished, and I thought it was the same song for a bit. Oops, silly me. Here's what I got for the Fragile in half. Because most of the songs in the original transition into each other in one way or another, I rearranged the track list to simulate that as best as possible. Some of these are a bit scuffed, but who cares? So we got Somewhat Damaged to start, Into the Void, La Mer, The Fragile, Starfuckers, Pilgrimage, Just Like You Imagined, The Wretched, We're in This Together, The Day the World Went Away, The Big Come Down, The Mark Has Been Made, and finally, Where Is Everybody? Oh, now the album's called The Fragile. Let's end with an album y'all knew was coming if you know me. Stadium Arcadium by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. For those not in the know, they're my favorite band. I try not to talk about them too much because one, that'd be annoying having them in every video, and two, I don't want people making fun of me all the time. I mentioned before how this is my favorite album with John Frusciante on guitar. It's not my favorite Chili Peppers album, that's for another time, but I still think it's great. Even though out of all the double albums I've talked about today, this was definitely the easiest to cut down. I know I said that about Melancholy too, but when it comes to my favorite band, it's pretty easy to be objective. Stadium Arcadium, as good as it is, it has a lot of problems I brought up with the other double albums. Filler songs, weird track placement. It does have an even split between both sides, but I hate that Spotify uses the first side's cover for all the songs instead of the second side's too. Also, fun fact, Stadium Arcadium was supposed to be a triple album. According to the band, they wanted to release all 38 songs they made during the recording sessions on 3 separate albums and release them individually over the course of a year. But they opted out because by the time they'd release the last one, they'd already be writing new stuff. So they cut the track list down to 28 songs, which is why I'm cutting it down to 16 songs. First up is side 1, Jupiter, which begins with Danny California. I'll skip it. This is a Chili Peppers song I'll listen to in a group setting, but rarely ever on my own. It's good, even though I know a lot of people who'd say otherwise, but even compared to the other singles from this album, hell, this side, it's just okay. In comparison, the next song was also a single, Snow Hey Yo, in parentheses. I don't feel the need to explain myself with this one. Snow is a song even people who don't like the Chili Peppers love. It's a song we've all given up learning on guitar at one point or another. Charlie's Staying Too. I love how interlocked the drums and bass are and all the guitar solos and layering sprinkled throughout. Stadium Arcadium, the title track, I mentioned this song before too, but this one's also staying. It has a somber tone, but is pretty up-tempo, so it's got a very unique dynamic. Hump to Bump, this is another song I've heard people throw shade at, but I'll keep it. There's a lot of cool instrumentation, like the percussion solos in the bridge, the horns in the chorus. I dare say this song's kinda underrated. I remember the band played it live for the first time in over a decade at Lollapalooza 2018, and even they were kinda surprised how much the crowd loved it.
Thanks, you guys. I didn't know you'd even like that.
She's Only 18, I'll cut this one. Not just because the subject matter is questionable, also because it's right before one of my favorite songs from Stadium Arcadium, Slow Cheetah. So anytime I'm listening to this side and I'm on She's Only 18, I'm like, oh boy, Slow Cheetah's next, that's all I can think about. This one's staying. It's a very cold sounding song because of the acoustic guitar and triangle. My favorite part is the little outro after the chorus. It goes to a weird time signature and slowly fades away. Torture Me I'll keep. It's another example of tonal whiplash, where Slow Cheetah was slow and somber, and this one's way faster and intense. But then it's still got a lot of melody, like the trumpet and harmonies in the chorus. Strip My Mind, I like this song, but it's not a make or break song for me. Most of that's because of its placement. It's another slow, somber song only 2 spots away from Slow Cheetah. These songs don't sound alike to me instrumentally, but tonally they kinda do. So if I had to choose between this or Cheetah, I'm going with Cheetah. I'm gonna cut the next 3 songs too, especially in Michigan, Warlocks, and Come On Girl. They've all got their own qualities. The guitar solo for Michigan was actually done by ORL from Mars Volta, but these 3 in particular just kinda gel together in my brain. They exemplify a problem some people have with Stadium Arcadium, how a lot of songs sound alike. I think that's a bit of an over-exaggeration, especially in side 2's case, but to me, these 3 don't distinguish themselves enough from the rest of the songs, and it doesn't help they're back-to-back. to back. So this is a problem with both filler and track placement. Wet Sand definitely stays. This is a song that proves Anthony Kiedis can write good lyrics if he wants to. He just chooses not to 90% of the time. For real, this is a great song. It's so emotionally powerful. It proves the band has a lot more depth than you think.
I'm almost there, why should I care? My heart is hurting when I share.
Finally, we got Hey, not to be confused with Snow Hey-O or Ho Hey by the Lumineers. This is a good closer, and I'm glad they play it live a bunch, but it does feel a little underwhelming after Wet Sand. But I don't know where else it could work on the track list, so I'm gonna cut it. Plus, I like Side 2's closer more, but we'll get to that soon. For now, let's talk about Side 2, Mars. This is a good example of a problem I feel a lot of double albums run into, where one side, usually the second, is kinda swept under the rug or considered the B-sides side. With most of the albums I've talked about, their singles or biggest songs are generally on the first side. Sure, 1979 is on side 2 of Melancholy, for example, but even then, I feel most people remember it for being on Melancholy as a whole, rather than which specific side it's on. Point is, even though Mars has some singles, I feel it's underappreciated because of side 1's track list. Jupiter literally has some of the Chili Peppers' biggest songs on it. And again, they don't use the correct art for Mars on Spotify. That doesn't matter, but it does to me. First is Desecration Smile. I love this song. It's like the antithesis of Danny California. That one's bright and loud, and Desecration is dark and moodier. It's another song that uses acoustic guitar, but it's at a faster tempo than Danny California. Even though it's not as powerful as Danny, it's more driving, and that's cool to me, so that's why it's staying. Tell Me Baby, I don't hate it as much as other people do, but if I were to hear any of the singles from Stadium Arcadium on the radio, I'd be the least excited if it were this one. That's all I see this song as, really. It's very single-coded. Hard to concentrate, this one's definitely staying. I remember they played it when I saw them live in 2017. Look at this bootleg-ass shirt I bought from a scalper. This song's kinda like Mars's version of Wet Sand, where it's a song Anthony Kiedis actually tries and it gets pretty emotional. It's more subdued than Wet Sand, but to me, there's some parallels between these two and their roles on their respective sides. 21st Century, I spent like 30 minutes deciding between this and another song from this side, and sadly, I had to go with that one. This is a great in-your-face song. I don't want to discredit it, but there's a few songs I like just a schmither more. She Looks to Me, I like this one. It has a similar energy to Desecration Smile if it used electric guitar instead of acoustic, but again, there's a few songs I like just a little more, so I'm gonna pass. This is what I was talking about. Mars has so many good songs, I was second guessing myself on which ones to cut way more than Jupiter. Like Ready Made, for a while I would have cut this one, but recently I've been obsessed with it. During the verses, the guitar and bass are doing a pretty simple repetitive riff, but every 4 measures the drum alternates the kick pattern, highlighting different notes of the riff. It's very subtle, but once you hear it, you're infatuated.
Steady as a rhythm roll. Ready made, ready made.
If, I'll keep this one too. It's a little transition song that doesn't sound like a typical Chili Peppers song. There's no drums, it's kind of folky. It's the type of shit that play over like nature time-lapse videos from Utah. It's not a song I need on here, but it's one I want on here. Make You Feel Better is staying. This is such a great upbeat song. It pumps me up anytime I hear it. Animal Bar's definitely staying too. This has been my favorite Chili Peppers song for like the last 6 months. It's very new wave sounding to me, especially the verses. The bass chord Flea does is so pretty.
All aboard the ship, 'cause you're gonna need an arc when the wind comes down.
So Much I, this is the song I chose over 21st Century. I think it has a slightly better energy, like this shit gets so crazy. I love hearing them fall apart during the end. Storm in a Teacup, does anyone know what the hell Flea's talking about in this? He's got these spoken word parts before the verses. I always thought he was acting as a cop during a shootout or something. It's groovy, but I'll cut it. We Believe I almost kept because I feel it also counts like this side's Wet Sand, but I think it's a bit short and kind of a pace breaker because it's in between so many fast and loud songs. That's another thing I noticed with Mars. The first half jumps between funky and melodic songs constantly, then after If, it gradually gets louder and louder until We Believe. And then it picks up again for the next song, Turn It Again. I'd argue this is the hardest song on all of Stadium Arcadium. The last third turns into a jam with guitars constantly entering and leaving. It sounds less restrained than their other songs, which helps tremendously. And finally, we got Death of a Martian to close it out. I'm keeping this one. It's kind of unsettling, to be honest. honest. It retains some of the energy from Turn It Again, but now it's got all these minor chords and daunting drums. And it ends on a build with Anthony reciting this weird-ass poem. It makes no sense, but it works with the instrumental, so I like it. So that's all of Mars and Jupiter, but the Spotify release also includes the 30-minute audio commentary. It's not labeled as the bonus or deluxe edition, it's just right here on the standard release. It was between this or Snow, but sadly Snow won by just a hair. Here's my one-sided Stadium Arcadium. First is If, because I like when albums start with a shorter song. Snow, because that's the most perfect second song ever. Charlie and Stadium Arcadium. Then Desecration Smile and Make You Feel Better. Hump the Bump to Pump It Up. Ready Made. Hard to Concentrate. Torture Me. Animal Bar. So Much I. Turn It Again. Then Slow Cheat and Wet Sand to mellow it out. And finally, Death of a Martian. I don't have a lot of explanations why I put certain songs where. To be honest, I'll probably redo this whole thing like 5 minutes after finishing this video, so the less I fixate, the better it is for all of us. And now this is called Mirror to the Moon. That's a lyric from the title track I really like, and it still fits with the whole space aesthetic of the album. Alright, this video is going on way too long, so I'm gonna call it here. As always, thank you all very much for watching. I'm sure some of y'all are probably gonna call me out for not including stuff like The Wall by Pink Floyd, but this video took way longer than expected, and I had to listen to 12 albums for this. I need a break from this double shit, okay? And Pink Floyd's kinda boring to me. Like, anytime I listen to him, I just zone out. I know that's kind of the point to an extent, but it just doesn't hook me, you know? Let me know how you felt about these little director's cuts and double albums you'd cut in half too. Shoutouts, of course, to my patrons, and even though I just said I don't like them, Pink Floyd will probably be in my next video, so see you then.